So the first Planet Coaster 2 deep dive has happened, and yes, I give in. We're talking about it, okay? I get it. I said I wasn't going to do a video because everybody else around you was also doing one. Call me a hypocrite in the comments and accuse me of milking the algorithm if you must, but I've slept since then, and new days bring new decisions. Now, I saw this at the same time as you guys. We didn't get a preview of it this time, but it was pretty much what we saw in July. I mean, this isn't going to be a deep dive of the deep dive, but I do just want to draw out some of the things that I found, shall we say, interesting about the deep dive video, which selfishly excite me because of the builds that I do here, all whilst I recycle the same footage you guys have already seen 1,000 times already. So let's start with the obvious, the one that everybody is talking about. Viva la vegan. No, I'm kidding. It's the path tool. Chill out. I'm going to quote Geekism here. I simply pathed my pants. The drawing of the paths, winning. The plaza stamp, winning. The ability to use the old system, winning. The ability to draw plazas, winning. The ability to place stuff on top of existing paths, winning. Like, seriously, this is a massive swing and win for Planet Coaster 2. This completely changes how we design our parks, and I can't say I'm going to miss spending 4 hours perfecting plazas with path covers and windowsill pieces. And leading on from the pathing, there seems to be some sort of organic cues going on. You place down a ride onto a path area you've already built, and you open it. The guests form their own orderly queues. You don't have to have a queue path. Now, this is a decent addition, but I'm not sure if you can control the direction they queue in. This may just pave the way, excuse the pun, for piers and car park fairgrounds. Stairs. Oh my god, actual stairs. I really hope this isn't exclusive to the water sides. I think it's going to be, but the stairs to the flumes, they are cool at least. You already know my thoughts on the custom coaster designer, so no more on that. Thank you very much. The idea of facilities management is cool. I love how each ride and area has got a power consumption cost and you need to supply the amount of power to it. I guess it's going to work the same way as Zoo in the sense that there's going to be some sort of a radius of guest impact and cost, which I think is the same with water and shade as well. So I noticed that the time of day was passing really slowly. Now, this was curious to start with, but then I spotted yesterday's income and customers yesterday, and also the queue time is in hours, minutes and seconds. This feels like this is lending itself to an open-close day cycle. Now, guests arrive at the start of the day, they leave at the end of the day, and the number of guests you get during the day is determined by factors such as weather, time of year, that sort of stuff. Now, I like the idea of this feature, but I'm the nerd that's always wanted this. I'd like to think you're going to be able to turn this off for 24-hour parks, especially for those players who prefer always open play. It feels like this has always been threatened in games like this, but it's never actually been implemented, so this opens up so many possibilities for things like annual pass sales and additional management functionality. I'm curious to see where this goes. Boobs. No, seriously, the new guest models look incredible. I mean, they may be a little bit shiny, but they are far better than Planet Coaster 1's. And the mascots are looking awesome as well. I mean, who doesn't want to put a walking spiky peen into their parks? In the staff hire list, we see hireable ride staff. Now, it's also mentioned that you need to keep your ride staff happy to keep the rides open. So I think this means that we are now going to have dynamic ride staff in our park, and we're going to need to manage their needs too. There were 3 entrances on that coaster station in that deep dive. Now, we don't know what that is, but I'm more curious to see what this is going to be, because we saw this in the preview as well. Now, I suspect this is going to be a new way of doing fast passes, but I would love to think this is something like single riders. Weather was under the radar confirmed to be a thing, and they even talked about how heat affects the guest happiness. Now, this totally works if you've got a daily cycle, because each day is going to then feel quite different. So the monsoon chute is a cool little addition, isn't it? I mean, I don't like how the pool is above ground, but I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of game limitation reason for that, you know, given the pathing tool and whatever. But did anyone else notice the particle effects? I mean, they look amazing. And the in-game lore of the ride manufacturers is a real nice little touch. I like the idea of being able to see all of the coasters made by a single company as a filter. And I'm also intrigued to know what that special type of coaster is going to be. And of course, DLCs are confirmed by the filters as well. So the generic flat rides and the coaster trains are all absolutely perfect. You all saw that with your own 2 rides. But it does mean that the time I'm going to save not doing plazas now means I've got to design my own flat rides and coaster trains. Ugh! It was a really small detail, but it does seem like the guest restriction signs in Planet Zoo appear in Planet Coaster 2. There was this really neat little no entry sign that was just in one of the blueprints. I'm quite excited about this. And so the last thing on my win list is that the game looks absolutely amazing, and it seems to perform pretty well. There were 6,000 guests in the demo park by the end of the stream, and there didn't seem to be a noticeable decline in performance. Yeah, it's not all good news though. There are a few things that I've seen that I'm a little bit, shall we say, about. So let's have a whinge for a second, shall we? Why are the flat ride pads still so big? Those coaster supports, they seem to be the old system. Hooray, custom supporting for us all over again. So the roller coasters they demoed, they're just not that good, but I think this is more because the devs aren't roller coaster builders. You know, they're not nerds like us, where we have to have everything absolutely perfect, but the entry and the exit of the inversions doesn't suggest that there's customizable inversion blueprints, and that's not going to allow continuous rolling. I don't know how I feel about that. And on the subject of coasters, the station setup hasn't changed either. Now, does this mean that we've got the same entry-exit frustrations that we've got with the throughput? Are the ride staff going to check restraints? Is there going to be loose baggage? I think it's just too soon to tell. And I think this is my biggest gripe on the list. It's the changing rooms and the toilets, because they're still the old style 4x4 blocks. Now, I was really hoping they were going to take the opportunity to use the zoo style staff utilities and create either customizable utilities or fixed size ones with just that little bit of detail. It feels like this is a cheap way out. We're also missing all of those stall style vendors and the customizable gift shops we see in zoo. I really do just hope it's too early to tell in the design cycle, but this isn't looking good right now. I mean, it does mean one thing though, Chacho toilets! But you know what, guys, we are not. It also means that as a creator, I need to really adapt to my style. I basically need to be better at my magic. And if you got this far, you obviously like the video, but are you subscribed? Go on, do it, you rebel. Push that button. Go on, do it. That pathing tool for the win though.